Welcome, everyone. Today we're diving into a fascinating crossover, the Law of One and Stoicism, especially how Ryan Holiday views Stoicism today. We'll uncover some surprising links and hopefully extract some wisdom from these two very different schools of thought.
Sounds like fun.
It is interesting, right? How two philosophies from such different places, one supposedly from an alien source and the other from ancient Greece, can both offer deep insights into handling life's challenges and mastering ourselves.
Definitely. It's intriguing.
With us today, we have an expert on both the Law of One and Stoicism. They'll guide us through the details and pull out the most valuable bits of wisdom. Welcome.
Happy to be here.
So let's peel back the layers of the Law of One. This system claims to come from an entity named Ra, channeled back in the 1980s. At its core, it's all about the idea that all is one, suggesting everything is connected and the universe is fundamentally one.
Right. A core idea across many spiritual traditions, actually.
What's really interesting about the Law of One is this veil idea. It says our current perception is limited, that we're blocked from truly grasping our interconnectedness in true nature. Almost like we're looking at reality with blinders on.
Like we're missing a huge part of the picture.
What specific insights from the Law of One can help us understand how this veil affects our daily lives and how we interact with each other?
Well, the Law of One says the veil keeps us from seeing the good in others. It distorts how we see things, which leads to judgments, misunderstandings, and conflicts.
So that's where the problems start.
Yeah. But by recognizing this veil exists, we can start to have more compassion and understanding for each other. The Law of One encourages us to look beyond appearances and recognize the divine spark within everyone, even those who are difficult to deal with.
So it's a call to look deeper and be more compassionate, even when it's hard. Now let's shift gears and talk about Stoicism, specifically how Ryan Holiday interprets it for today's world. He's done a fantastic job of making it relevant to our modern challenges.
Absolutely. Holiday's work has been key in bringing Stoicism to a much larger audience. What's really cool about his take is how he applies these old principles to the crazy complexities of modern life, especially, with all the technology and everything.
Like how we're always bombarded with information and opinions.
Exactly. And, all those external pressures. Stoicism teaches us to focus on our own thoughts, reactions, and choices, things we can actually control, instead of getting overwhelmed by everything else.
Makes total sense. In a world overflowing with distractions and too much information, the idea of controlling our perceptions, as Stoicism suggests, is super relevant, maybe more than ever.
I think so.
Right? It's about accepting that we can't always control what happens to us, but we can always control how we react. And that's where choice becomes so important, which is something that both Stoicism and the Law of One actually agree on.
Choice is key. Yeah.
It's fascinating how both systems stress the importance of choice, even though they come from completely different backgrounds. Could you talk more about how each system sees the concept of choice and what it means for our lives?
Sure. In the Law of One, choice is super important because it's all about free will. Every decision we make, even tiny ones, contributes to our spiritual growth and helps shape our reality. Like we're constantly weaving the fabric of our lives with every decision.
It's almost like each choice is a stitch in the grand tapestry.
Exactly. And Stoicism echoes that idea. It says that even though we can't control external events, we have complete control over how we think and react to them. We always have the power to choose our response, even in tough times.
So both philosophies are really empowering us. They're saying we're not just victims of circumstance, but we're creators of our own experience.
Right, we're in the driver's seat.
Now, I'm curious about how the Law of One and Stoicism view service.
Okay, yeah. Both systems place a high value on service, but they come at it from slightly different angles.
How so?
Well, Stoicism, with its focus on being virtuous, sees service as part of living in harmony with nature. It tells us to recognize our connection to all of humanity and act for the common good.
To act in a way that benefits everyone.
Yeah, exactly. But the Law of One presents a more, I guess you could say, nuanced view of service.
Right.
It talks about two paths: serving others and serving the self.
That's interesting. Two paths of service. Now, serving others is something we usually associate with spiritual growth. But how does the Law of One define serving the self? And how can focusing on yourself benefit everyone else?
Good questions. The Law of One says serving the self is all about developing self-love, self-respect, and self-empowerment. It's realizing our own worth and taking responsibility for our own well-being.
So it's about recognizing our own value.
Yes, and this might sound a bit individualistic, but ultimately it contributes to the greater good. When we take care of ourselves and we're filled with self-love, we can genuinely share that love and compassion with others.
It's like the saying, you can't pour from an empty cup.
Exactly. You have to fill yourself up first. It's not about becoming self-absorbed, but about understanding that taking care of ourselves is crucial for making a positive impact on the world around us.
That makes a lot of sense. It reminds me of how Ryan Holiday interprets Stoicism. He emphasizes using obstacles as chances for growth and often talks about Abraham Lincoln, who faced so many challenges but navigated them with incredible strength and resilience.
Lincoln's story is a great example of Stoicism in action. He faced so much adversity, especially during the Civil War, but he never lost focus. He controlled his emotions, and he always turned setbacks into opportunities for learning and growth. He even found ways to take care of himself during all the chaos, which shows how important self-care is, even in the toughest situations.
I imagine that must have been incredibly hard, though, balancing those external pressures with the Stoic ideal of inner peace.
Oh, absolutely. And it's important to remember that Stoicism isn't about becoming emotionless or ignoring the world.
It's not about becoming a robot.
Not at all. It's about cultivating inner peace and stability even when things are chaotic. Lincoln probably experienced a ton of emotional turmoil, but he chose to focus on what he could control, his own actions, thoughts, and responses to the challenges he faced. And that's what allowed him to lead with clarity and purpose, even in the darkest times.
It's a powerful reminder that we have more control than we realize.
Exactly.
So both the Law of One and Stoicism offer practical tools for being more self-aware and handling challenges. Could you share some specific exercises or practices that listeners can try to really live by these principles?
Of course. Both systems emphasize the importance of introspection and self-reflection. Practices like meditation, journaling, and spending time in nature can help us understand our thoughts, emotions, and motivations better.
To connect with our inner selves.
Right. And Stoicism has a cool practice called negative visualization. It involves thinking about worst-case scenarios, not to be negative, but to mentally and emotionally prepare for potential challenges. It helps us appreciate what we have and become more resilient.
To face our fears, in a
Yeah.
way.
In a way, yeah. And the Law of One stresses seeking knowledge and understanding. It encourages us to be curious, explore different perspectives, and challenge our own assumptions.
To be open-minded.
Yes, exactly. And it's not just about passively absorbing information, it's about actively engaging with it, questioning things, and using knowledge to expand our awareness. Both systems want us to be lifelong learners, constantly trying to understand ourselves and the world around us better.
Always seeking, always growing.
Exactly. It's like using our minds to understand the world better, make smarter decisions, and not just get swept away by temporary feelings.
It's about taking a step back, thinking things through, and making decisions based on logic, not just reacting impulsively.
Right, exactly.
Speaking of challenges, the Law of One talks about something called catalysts.
Hmm.
What are those?
Catalysts, according to the Law of One, are experiences that push us to grow and evolve. These aren't necessarily good things. They can be tough situations, setbacks, even things we see as negative experiences. The point is that we go through these catalysts to become aware of our own, well, distortions, like our limiting beliefs, and that leads to important lessons and spiritual development.
So instead of seeing challenges as roadblocks or something bad happening to us, the Law of One wants us to see them as chances to learn and grow.
Right. It's a powerful shift, moving away from feeling like a victim and embracing a more empowered mindset.
It's about taking control.
Exactly. And this actually connects with the Stoic idea of turning obstacles into opportunities. Ryan Holiday often says, the obstacle is the way. It's about realizing that challenges are just a part of life, and that our ability to handle them well is what builds character and resilience.
Okay, so how do we actually use these catalysts to grow? The Law of One mentions self-reflection and being honest with ourselves, but that can be tough, especially when we're dealing with hard situations.
Yeah, it definitely takes courage and honesty to face our own weaknesses. The Law of One suggests that when something difficult happens, we ask ourselves, what is this teaching me? What's coming up for me? What limiting beliefs are being exposed? It's about becoming our own inner investigator. looking for the lessons hidden within these experiences.
It's about looking inward,
Yeah.
facing those shadow parts of ourselves, which can be uncomfortable.
It can be, but it's not about dwelling on the negative. It's about bringing those hidden parts to light so we can work with them.
Transform them.
Exactly. And the Law of One reminds us that love is the strongest tool for healing these distortions. It starts with self-love and self-acceptance, accepting all parts of ourselves, even the messy ones, with compassion and understanding.
Embracing the whole package.
Yes, this self-love makes way for forgiveness and healing.
It's about recognizing that we're all a work in progress and giving ourselves some grace, allowing space for those shadow parts to integrate and heal.
Exactly, and that self-love naturally flows outward to others. When we accept ourselves, we can better accept others, even those who trigger those distortions in us. It's about realizing everyone is on their own journey and we all deserve compassion.
It's a beautiful way to approach relationships, especially those that are difficult, seeing them as chances to practice compassion and acceptance.
Exactly. And it's about recognizing the divine spark in everyone, even when their behavior might not reflect it.
It's about looking beyond the surface.
Exactly. The Law of One goes even deeper with this idea of densities. There are different levels of vibration or awareness that souls experience as they evolve.
So like different levels of reality.
Yeah, like layers of reality, each with its own set of lessons and challenges, and they guide souls toward higher levels of consciousness.
Okay, that's fascinating. So where does Earth fit into all of this?
According to the Law of One, Earth is currently in third density, which focuses on the material world, the self, and, exploring free will.
So we're still learning the ropes, figuring out this whole free will thing.
Exactly. We're making choices, sometimes messing up, learning from those mistakes, and hopefully growing. As we move through this density, we start to develop more compassion, more empathy, and a stronger desire to help others.
To shift from me to we.
Yes, we move from a self-centered view to a broader awareness of how connected we all are. We start realizing that our actions impact others. As this awareness grows, we're getting ready to move to fourth density, which is all about love and understanding.
Yeah, it sounds amazing, like a major upgrade.
It is. It's a shift toward a reality where love and understanding are the dominant forces.
So how do we make this transition? Does it just happen automatically, or is there something we can do to get ready for it?
The Law of One says the shift to fourth density is already happening.
It's happening now.
Yeah, it's a gradual process, and the key is aligning ourselves with love and helping others. It's not about waiting for something to happen. It's about embodying those qualities in our lives right now.
It's about making choices that reflect those values.
Exactly. We're all on this journey together, and our choices, both individually and collectively, determine where we end up.
So we have a say in how this unfolds.
Absolutely. And this connects to the concept of polarity from the Law of One, which we talked about before. It's the interplay of positive and negative energies, the light and the shadow. It suggests that both are necessary for consciousness to evolve, not as opposing forces, but as parts of the same universal energy.
So they work together.
Yeah, it's like understanding that both the light and the dark serve a purpose. We need the darkness to appreciate the light, the challenges to help us grow, the contrasts show us the full picture of reality.
It's about embracing the whole spectrum.
Exactly. And ultimately, both polarities lead back to the source, the creator, the one. It's like we're all on different paths, exploring different aspects of the same reality, but ultimately heading towards the same place.
The beautiful way to think about it.
And this understanding helps us have compassion for those on different paths, recognizing we're all playing our parts in this huge cosmic play.
We're all in this together.
Exactly. The Law of One says the goal isn't to get rid of one polarity or the other, but to find a balance between them. It's about finding that sweet spot where light and shadow can exist in harmony.
Creating a more balanced world.
Yeah, it's not about pretending the shadow doesn't exist. It's about accepting it and using it to help us grow.
When we embrace both, we become whole.
Exactly. Now, bringing it back down to earth, how can we take action on these concepts? The Law of One often talks about serving others as a way to speed up our spiritual growth.
Okay, so what does that look like in everyday life?
The Law of One says that serving others means anything we do with the intention of helping, healing, or uplifting someone else. It's not just about big, heroic actions. It's about those small acts of kindness and compassion, those moments where we choose to do something good for someone else.
The little things add up.
Exactly. It could be as simple as listening to someone, offering a helping hand, saying something kind, or just smiling. It's about realizing we're all connected and choosing to act in ways that benefit everyone.
It's about contributing to the collective good.
Exactly. And it's not about wanting recognition or praise. It's about doing it from the heart, wanting to make a positive difference. The law of one says these selfless actions create a ripple effect.
Inspiring others to do the same.
Exactly. It's like we're all parts of a giant clock, and every act of service helps the clock run better. And there's so many ways to serve, each one unique to our individual gifts and talents.
So many possibilities.
Exactly. It's about finding what resonates with you and using those gifts to make the world a little brighter, a little kinder.
Now, while we've focused a lot on serving others, which is often emphasized in spiritual circles, the law of one also talks about another path, serving the self. Can you explain that? It seems counterintuitive, especially in a spiritual context.
It might seem that way, but the law of one says that both paths, when done with pure intention, can lead to higher levels of consciousness. It's not about one being right and the other wrong. It's about understanding that there are many ways to connect with the Creator, many ways to express the divine.
So it's about finding what resonates with your soul.
Exactly. The choice is a personal one. It's not about following what other people say you should do, but about honoring your own path.
Trusting your intuition.
Yes. So let's explore this path of serving the self. What does it look like in practice? How does focusing on yourself ultimately benefit the greater good? The Law of One says serving the self is about cultivating a strong sense of self-love, self-respect, and self-empowerment. It's about recognizing your own worth and divinity, honoring your needs and desires, taking responsibility for your own happiness and well-being.
So it's about recognizing your own value.
Absolutely. It might sound a bit selfish at first, but it's not about ego or being self-centered. It's about understanding that you are worthy of love, respect, and abundance.
Like filling your own cup before you can fill others.
Exactly. This self-love and self-respect create a strong foundation for navigating life and interacting with others. When you're secure in your own worth, you're less likely to be swayed by what others think or get caught up in power struggles.
It's about standing in your own power.
Yes. It's about radiating confidence and authenticity, which can be incredibly powerful and positive in the world. The Law of One suggests those on the path of serving the self often have a strong sense of purpose and a clear vision for their lives.
They know what they want.
Exactly. They're not just drifting, but are driven by a deep inner knowing of what they want to create and contribute. They often have a strong will and determination to achieve their goals, using their talents and resources to bring their vision to life.
And even though this path might seem focused on the individual, it actually benefits the whole universe.
That's right. The Law of One suggests that as individuals cultivate self-love, self-respect, and self-empowerment, they become more radiant. And this radiance naturally spills over into the world, inspiring others and raising the overall vibration.
Like a chain reaction of positivity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Their individual success helps to create a positive transformation for everyone.
It highlights how interconnected both paths are, serving others and serving the self.
Exactly. They complement and support each other. It's a beautiful cycle.
One feeds the other.
Exactly. As individuals on the path of serving the self cultivate their inner strength and radiance, they become even more capable of serving others in a meaningful way. It's like filling your own wellspring of love and compassion so that you can overflow with generosity and support for others.
So ultimately, both paths lead to the same goal, love and connection.
Exactly.
Now, I want to touch on something else from the Law of One, the concept of energy centers, also known as chakras. It's a fascinating way to understand the subtle energies within us. Can you explain what these energy centers are all about?
Sure. Imagine energy centers as swirling vortexes of energy. Each one corresponds to different parts of our being: physical, emotional, and spiritual.
Like little energy hubs.
Yeah, exactly. Think of them as spinning wheels of light along your spine. Each one has a unique color and vibration and regulates how energy flows throughout your system.
We're more than just physical bodies.
Exactly. We're made up of these swirling energies that constantly interact and influence how we experience life.
So what are these different energy centers, and what do they represent?
Each energy center is associated with certain qualities, emotions, and aspects of our being. Let's start from the bottom up. The root chakra at the base of the spine is all about survival, feeling grounded, and our connection to the physical world. Our foundation. Exactly. Then we have the sacral chakra in the lower abdomen. This governs our creativity, sexuality, and how we express our emotions.
The energy of passion and creation.
Yes. Moving up, we have the solar plexus chakra in the solar plexus area. This one's about willpower, self-esteem, and personal power.
Our core strength.
Exactly. And of course, we have the heart chakra located in the heart, the center of love, compassion, and connection.
The energy of love.
Right. Then we move up to the throat chakra, which is all about communication, expressing ourselves, and speaking our truth.
Finding your voice.
Exactly. Then there's the third eye chakra located in the center of the forehead. This one's about intuition, insight, and spiritual awareness.
Our inner wisdom.
Yes. And lastly, we have the crown chakra at the top of the head. This one connects us to the divine, spiritual enlightenment, and a sense of oneness with everything.
The ultimate connection.
Exactly. The Law of One says all these energy centers are connected and influence each other, contributing to our overall balance and harmony. It's not about focusing on just one center, but finding a sense of balance and flow between all of them.
They all work together.
Yes, when they're balanced, we feel good, have energy, and feel a spiritual connection. Our whole being vibrates with energy, and we radiate light from the inside out.
It's like everything is flowing smoothly.
Exactly. But when these centers are blocked or out of balance, we can experience physical, emotional, or spiritual issues. These energy blocks create static, disrupting the flow of energy and showing up as disease or disharmony.
So it's about keeping those energy centers clear.
Yes, the Law of One suggests we can work with these energy centers through practices like meditation, visualization, and energy healing.
So we have tools to help us.
Exactly. We can tune our own energy systems, clear those blockages, and become more radiant and aligned with our true selves.
So it's about taking an active role in our own well-being.
Yes, exactly. And this work with our energy centers can support our spiritual growth, helping us connect deeper with the Creator and experience the fullness of who we are.
It's about being more aware of the subtle energies that flow through us.
Right. Now, we've covered a lot of profound concepts from the Law of One, but how do we make these ideas practical? How can we bring these principles into our everyday routines and make them a real part of our lives?
Okay, that's a great question. It's easy to talk about these concepts, but how do we actually live them?
That's the challenge, right? And that's where mindfulness comes in. The Law of One emphasizes the importance of being present in the moment, paying attention to our thoughts, feelings, and actions without judgment.
So being present in the now.
Yes. It's about noticing what's happening inside us and around us without getting carried away by our thoughts and feelings.
It's about slowing down.
Exactly. It's about taking a break from the constant mental chatter and taking the time to appreciate the little things, to connect with the present moment, to really experience the miracle of being alive.
To appreciate the simple things.
Exactly. And we can bring this practice of mindfulness into everything we do, from our morning routine to how we interact with others, to those quiet moments of reflection. It's not about adding another thing to our to-do list, but about shifting our perspective, being more present and aware in everything we do.
It's about being more intentional.
Yes, exactly. It could be as simple as taking a few deep breaths before you start your day, paying attention to how your body feels as you move, or really savoring each bite of food.
Slowing down and appreciating the experience.
Yes. The Law of One suggests that mindfulness can help us become more aware of those distortions we talked about, those negative patterns, and align ourselves with the energy of love and light. It's not just about feeling calmer and more relaxed, but it's a way to grow spiritually.
It's a path to something deeper.
Exactly. And mindfulness can improve our relationships with others too. When we're present and mindful during our interactions, we're more likely to really listen to each other, respond with empathy, and create a genuine connection.
It's about being fully present with the other person.
Exactly. It's like putting down our phones, silencing those inner voices, and truly tuning in to the person in front of us. And that presence can be really healing and transformative.
Because you're giving them your full attention.
Exactly. It allows us to see past our own judgments and connect with the divine spark in each other. We let go of pretenses and connect soul to soul.
A deeper level of connection.
Right. And this fosters more understanding, compassion, and love. It's like we're building a web of connection, heart to heart, soul to soul. This sense of interconnectedness is at the very core of the Law of One.
It's about recognizing our shared humanity.
Exactly.
Now let's shift gears and talk about gratitude. I'd love to explore how gratitude can be a guiding force in our lives and how it aligns with the Law of One.
Gratitude is a powerful practice, and it really resonates with the Law of One. It's about changing our focus from what we don't have to what we do have. From feeling a sense of scarcity to recognizing abundance, this shift in perspective can be really transformative.
It's about appreciating what we have.
Exactly. It's so easy to get caught up in wanting more and never feeling satisfied with what we have. And this constant striving can create a sense of lack, of never having enough.
It can keep us stuck in a negative cycle.
Exactly. It's like running on a treadmill, always chasing something, but never really getting anywhere. Gratitude is about stepping off that treadmill, appreciating the view, and acknowledging the good things we already have.
It's about being present in the moment and appreciating what is.
Yes. And the Law of One suggests that practicing gratitude can actually bring more abundance into our lives.
So it's not just about feeling good, it can actually attract more good things.
Exactly. When we focus on what we're thankful for, we align ourselves with the energy of abundance, which is limitless. It's like tuning our internal radio to the frequency of abundance. The more we focus on it, the stronger that signal becomes. And this abundance can show up in all sorts of ways: unexpected opportunities, loving relationships, even a deep sense of inner peace.
It's about opening ourselves up to receive.
Exactly. So gratitude isn't just about counting our blessings, it's about actively creating the life we want. And the Law of One also says that gratitude is a powerful way to connect with the Creator.
It's about recognizing where our blessings come from.
Exactly. It's about acknowledging that we didn't create all this good stuff ourselves. There's a force greater than us that's constantly supporting us.
It's about expressing gratitude to the universe.
Exactly. This recognition fosters a sense of humility, of reverence, and a connection to the divine.
It's about acknowledging something bigger than ourselves.
Right. We're saying thank you for all the abundance that flows into our lives. And this gratitude, in turn, opens our hearts to receive even more blessings. It's a beautiful cycle where gratitude leads to more abundance, which leads to more gratitude, and so on. It's an upward spiral. Exactly. And this uplifts us, enhances our well-being, and creates a more joyful life.
It's about creating a positive feedback loop.
Exactly. Now, in addition to mindfulness and gratitude, the Law of One emphasizes self-discipline and self-mastery as crucial for spiritual evolution.
Okay, self-discipline. That can be tough.
It can be challenging for sure. It's
Yeah.
not always the most fun part of the spiritual journey.
It takes work.
It does. It requires effort and dedication, but the rewards are worth it.
So why is self-discipline so important, and how does it connect to the Law of One?
The Law of One suggests that self-discipline helps us align our thoughts, words, and actions with our highest intentions. We become the masters of our own lives, taking charge of our thoughts and behaviors, and making choices that support our growth. This helps us break free from negative patterns, resist temptations, and stay focused on our goals.
It's about being in control.
Exactly. It's like building up our willpower, becoming more resilient, more focused, and better at manifesting our desires. And the Law of One reminds us that self-discipline isn't about punishing ourselves.
It's not about deprivation.
Right. It's about making choices that are good for us, even when they're hard. It's about choosing long-term fulfillment over instant gratification, understanding that growth often takes effort.
It's about playing the long game.
Exactly. And this applies to every area of our lives, from what we eat and how we move our bodies to our relationships and spiritual practices. It's about making choices that align with our values, even when it's tempting to take the easy way out.
It's about staying true to ourselves.
Exactly. And the more we practice self-discipline, the easier it becomes. It's like strengthening a muscle, making it more natural for us to choose the path of growth.
It becomes a habit.
Exactly. We're upgrading our whole system, becoming more efficient, more effective, and more aligned with our purpose.
It's about reaching our full potential.
Right. This self-mastery allows us to express our highest potential and become more radiant beings of love and light.
Now, speaking of radiance, forgiveness is another big theme in the Law of One. It's a powerful force for healing and transformation.
Forgiveness is essential for our own well-being and for the planet to evolve.
Absolutely. So what's the Law of One's perspective on forgiveness?
It says that forgiveness is about letting go of resentment, anger, and judgment towards ourselves and others. It doesn't mean we have to condone hurtful actions or pretend everything's fine. It's about choosing to release the negative emotions that are keeping us stuck in the past.
So it's about letting go of the negativity.
Exactly. We offer compassion and understanding to ourselves and others, realizing that we're all perfectly imperfect beings on our own journeys. We all make mistakes, learn from them, and evolve. The Law of One emphasizes that forgiveness is a gift we give ourselves.
It frees us.
Exactly. When we hold on to resentment or anger, we're only hurting ourselves. It's like that saying, holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die.
Wow, that's a powerful image.
It is. Forgiveness lets us release that poison. It frees us from the burden of negativity and creates space for healing and peace. It's like a weight being lifted off our shoulders. We can breathe easier and move forward with lightness and grace.
It's about finding peace.
Yes.
Yeah.
But forgiveness can be incredibly hard, especially when we've been deeply hurt.
It's not always easy to let go.
It's not, and the Law of One recognizes that. It reminds us that forgiveness is a process. It takes time and effort. It's about being patient with ourselves, acknowledging our feelings, and gradually choosing to let go.
It's a journey.
Yes. It's like gently untangling knots one by one until our hearts feel open and free. The Law of One emphasizes that forgiveness isn't about saying that what happened was okay. It's about recognizing that the other person is on their own journey, making mistakes and learning just like we are.
It's about understanding.
Exactly. It's about seeing the situation from a higher perspective. We're all connected and ultimately trying to grow and learn.
It's about seeing the bigger picture.
Exactly. And this allows us to extend compassion and understanding even to those who have hurt us. It's about seeing things through a lens of love, not judgment. And that's what creates the possibility for healing.
It's about choosing love over anger.
Exactly. So forgiveness isn't just about letting go of the past, but also about creating a better future. It's a powerful tool for transformation for ourselves and for the world.
It's about healing and moving forward.
Exactly. Now, going back to the big picture, we talked earlier about Earth's transition to fourth density, that realm of love and understanding. This feels like a huge event, not just for Earth, but for the whole universe.
It does feel significant.
It is. The Law of One suggests that Earth is a special planet, a place where souls can experience many different densities and make significant progress in their spiritual evolution.
Like a cosmic training ground.
Exactly. The transition to fourth density is like a graduation. We've learned our lessons and are ready to move to a higher level of consciousness.
So it's not just about Earth becoming a more loving place.
No, it's bigger than that. It's about Earth raising its vibration. And this shift is already happening. We see signs of it everywhere. People are more aware of how connected we are, and there's a growing desire for peace and harmony.
It feels like a shift in consciousness.
It is. The Law of One suggests that those who choose love and service will naturally transition to fourth density, while those who choose fear and separation will have to repeat the cycle in another third density experience.
So we have a choice.
Yes. And it's not about judgment or punishment. It's about letting souls evolve at their own pace. The transition isn't a sudden event. It's a gradual process of raising our vibration and aligning ourselves with the energy of love and light.
It's about raising our consciousness.
Exactly. And the Law of One suggests that as this happens, there will be major changes on Earth, both physically and energetically.
That sounds intense. What kind of changes?
The Law of One suggests that as Earth's vibration rises, there will be a process of purification and cleansing.
A cosmic cleanse.
Yeah, and this might show up as natural disasters, climate change, or other events that shake things up and force us to face our own shadow side.
It's like a wake-up call.
Exactly. These changes might feel challenging and even chaotic, but they're necessary for the planet to evolve.
So it's about letting go of the old to make way for the new.
Right. And the Law of One suggests that these changes will also create opportunities for growth.
So it's not all doom and gloom.
No, not at all. It's about embracing the unknown, trusting the process, and using challenges as opportunities for growth.
It's about having faith.
Exactly. And those who choose love and service will find that these changes, even the tough ones, will lead to greater understanding, compassion, and spiritual connection.
It's like we're being upgraded.
Exactly. The Law of One emphasizes that we have a choice in how we respond to these changes. We can choose fear or love.
It's about choosing our response.
Yes. We're not just watching this happen, we're actively participating in shaping the future, both for ourselves and for the planet. The Law of One says that our thoughts, words, and actions all impact the vibration of the planet.
So our choices really do matter.
They do. And by choosing love, compassion, and service, we can help speed up this transition and create a more beautiful world.
We have the power to make a difference.
We do. Now, you might be wondering about those who aren't ready for this shift. What happens to them?
That's a good question. Where do they go?
The Law of One suggests that those who choose fear and separation will continue to experience third density reality on another planet.
So it's not about being excluded.
No, it's about allowing souls to evolve at their own pace and choose the experiences that help them grow.
Everyone has their own path.
Exactly. And those souls will eventually move on to higher densities when they're ready.
It's a journey.
It is. It's like we're all on different timelines, taking different routes, but ultimately we're all heading toward the same destination.
Back to the source.
Exactly. The Law of One emphasizes that there's no judgment, no right or wrong path, only the journey of the soul toward love and light.
It's about the journey, not the destination.
Exactly.
This has been incredible. I feel like my mind has been blown wide open. I've gained a whole new perspective on life, the universe, and everything.
I'm glad you found it insightful.
Before we move on, I want to talk about something that's always fascinated me about the Law of One. The concept of wanderers.
Wander, yes.
Who are they?
Wanderers are souls who've chosen to be born on Earth from higher densities. They're here to help the planet evolve. It's an act of incredible service and compassion. They're here to help Earth and everyone on it transition to fourth density.
So they're here to help us.
Exactly. It's like they're cosmic volunteers here to lend a helping hand during this important time. They often come with special skills, knowledge, or missions that can help humanity.
They're bringing their wisdom and light to Earth.
Exactly. Wanderers often feel like they don't quite belong here, like they're longing for a home they can't remember. They might be drawn to spiritual practices, alternative healing, or anything that raises consciousness and promotes love.
They're searching for something.
Yes, it's like their souls are whispering, remember who you are, remember why you're here. They might also feel a strong connection to nature, animals, or other beings that vibrate at a higher frequency. It's like they're seeking out those familiar vibrations that remind them of their true home.
It's a calling.
It is. They often have deep empathy for the suffering of others and a desire to help heal the world's pain and disharmony. It's like they're embodying the compassion and love they came here to share. And while they might face unique challenges adapting to Earth's denser energy, their presence is a gift.
It's a blessing.
It is. They are beacons of light, reminding us of our own potential and inspiring us to create a more loving and harmonious world.
Their presence helps to raise the vibration.
Exactly. Recognizing their presence among us can bring a sense of unity and connection.
It reminds us that we're not alone.
Right. It's a beautiful reminder that we are all part of something much bigger than ourselves. A cosmic tapestry woven together by love, light, and shared purpose.
So we've explored many profound ideas from the Law of One. But how do we integrate these concepts into our daily lives?
That's the important part, right? It's one thing to understand intellectually, but how do we actually live by these principles?
How do we make them real?
One of the most important principles is the power of choice. We make choices every day, but the Law of One views choice in a different light.
How so?
The Law of One says every choice we make, no matter how small, affects our spiritual growth and the overall energy of the universe.
So it's not just about personal preference. It's about understanding how even small choices contribute to the energy we put out into the world.
Exactly. Each choice is a chance to align with love or fear. It's like we're always at a crossroads, deciding which path to take, which energy to feed.
It's about being conscious of the impact of our choices.
And those choices add up over time, shaping not only our reality, but the reality we all share. It's not just about me and my little world. It's about recognizing how my choices affect everyone and everything around me.
It's about recognizing our interconnectedness.
Exactly. When we choose love, compassion, and unity, we're helping to create a more harmonious world.
We're weaving threads of light into the fabric of existence.
Yes, and those threads connect us all. They create a web of love and support that can uplift humanity and help us evolve toward a brighter future.
That's a beautiful image. But how do we make choices that align with love, especially when life gets tough?
The Law of One emphasizes self-awareness. It's about taking the time to reflect on our thoughts, emotions, and motivations, to understand why we make the choices we do.
To become more conscious of our patterns.
Exactly. And when we become more aware, we can start making more deliberate choices. It's like taking control of our lives rather than letting our unconscious habits drive us.
It's about taking responsibility.
Yes. This self-awareness is essential for recognizing the difference between choices based on fear and choices based on love.
So how do we tell the difference?
Choices based on fear often come from feeling like we lack something or from insecurity. They're driven by a desire to protect ourselves, to control things, or to avoid pain.
It's about operating from a place of scarcity.
Exactly. And often those choices lead to more suffering, both for ourselves and others. Fear breeds more fear. It's a vicious cycle. It's a downward spiral.
Exactly. But love-based choices come from a sense of abundance, connection, and compassion.
It's about recognizing that there's enough for everyone.
Exactly. Those choices create more joy, peace, and fulfillment, both for ourselves and others. Love is contagious. It spreads outward.
It creates a positive ripple effect.
Yes. But choosing love doesn't mean it's always easy or comfortable. Sometimes it takes courage and a willingness to step outside our comfort zones.
To challenge ourselves.
Exactly. And those choices, even the difficult ones, are the ones that ultimately lead to the greatest growth and evolution. They help us break free from the limitations of fear and step into the boundless potential of love.
It's about expanding our capacity for love.
Exactly. And the more we practice making choices based on love, the easier it
It
becomes.
becomes a habit.
Yes, we train our minds and hearts to operate from a higher frequency.
We're evolving.
Exactly. And that is the essence of the law of one in action. Now, the law of one also talks about catalysts as a way to reframe challenges and use them for growth. Okay, let's talk about that. Catalysts, as we discussed before, are essentially experiences that trigger growth, right? They're not always positive. They can be tough, even what we might see as negative. The law of one suggests that we encounter these catalysts to become more aware of our distortions and to learn valuable lessons.
That's right. So instead of blaming others for our problems, we can see these challenges as opportunities to learn and evolve.
It's a shift in perspective.
Exactly. It's about embracing a mindset of empowerment and possibility. Rather than seeing life as something that's happening to us, it's about recognizing that we have the power to choose how we respond. But how do we actually use these catalysts effectively? How do we take those lemons and make cosmic lemonade?
That's the key question. How do we put this into practice?
The Law of One highlights the importance of self-reflection and being honest with ourselves. When we face a catalyst, we ask ourselves, what's this experience showing me? What can I learn? What limiting beliefs are coming up? It's like we're becoming detectives, looking for the clues that the universe is presenting to us.
We're digging deeper into ourselves.
Exactly. And that requires honesty. We have to be willing to confront those shadow parts of ourselves. It's not about dwelling in negativity. It's about bringing those hidden aspects to light so we can work with them and transform them.
It's about shining a light on our shadows.
Exactly. And the Law of One reminds us that love is the most powerful tool for healing these distortions. It starts with self-love and self-acceptance, embracing all parts of ourselves, even the messy bits, with compassion and understanding. It's about realizing that we're all perfectly imperfect and offering ourselves kindness and acceptance. This self-love creates space for forgiveness and healing.
It's about letting go of judgment and shame.
Exactly. It's like softening the edges and creating a welcoming space for all parts of ourselves to integrate and heal. And this self-love extends outward to others. When we love and accept ourselves, we're more able to love and accept others, even those who trigger our distortions.
It's about recognizing our shared humanity.
Exactly. It's about realizing everyone is on their own journey. We can use challenging relationships as opportunities to practice compassion, understanding, and to recognize the divine spark in everyone, even those who push our buttons.
We can turn those challenges into opportunities for growth.
Exactly. And this practice of love and compassion, even when it's hard, is one of the most powerful ways to heal those distortions and contribute to the evolution of the planet.
It's about making the world a better place.
Exactly. Now, let's wrap up this incredible journey through the Law of One. I'd love to hear your final thoughts. What's the key takeaway you want listeners to remember from our exploration?
Wow, that's a big question. I think the most important message is the power of choice. The law of one reminds us that we can choose love or fear in every moment. And those choices have a ripple effect, shaping not only our own reality, but the reality we all share. It's like we're not just passive observers, we're active creators. And our choices matter more than ever.
I love that. It's about empowerment. It's not about waiting for someone else to save us. It's about taking responsibility for our choices and using our free will to create the world we want.
Beautifully said. That's the heart of the law of one. It's a call to action, a reminder that we have the power to create a more loving and harmonious world. And on that note of empowerment, it's time to wrap up this cosmic adventure. A huge thank you to our expert for sharing their wisdom and insights. And to all our amazing listeners, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the Law of One. Remember, you are powerful beings of love and light, and your choices today create the world of tomorrow. So shine brightly, spread the love, and keep exploring the mysteries within and all around you.